Hi, everybody. It's your girl Elle from the Love It or Leave It Creative Channel, coming to you with the relaunch of our brand. I took a break because I was just going through a lot and I needed to take care of myself. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Am I selfish or do I know my value?
Answer key. Greetings. Roll call, please. The Levette Unique Elise exam review is now in session. This is me telling you who I am and how I feel, irregardless of it being a negative or a positive, because that's what I need. It's me telling you who I am to see if you can meet me where I'm at. It's me providing open communication and transparency so you can reflect, understand, and make a choice based on who you are because you know yourself better than anyone. It's sharing with you because you process things in your own way as you should. I observe, I assess, I conclude. Reflection and meditation is pertinent. As I evaluate and assess my relationships, my thoughts begin to wander. I begin to ponder. There are a plethora of sacrifices and compromises that come with it all. I'm still open, but I have to take a step back. Taking a step back because I need time to reflect. Time controls more than anyone understands. Time cannot be given back. Even a broken clock is correct twice a day. We go through mean time and in between time stages in our life with people, places, and things constantly. If we're lucky, eternal ones as well. Those parables begin a racing thought process of the following: how is this serving me? Why am I investing my time in this? What is my purpose? What is the intention? Is growth present? Why am I here? What do I gain here that I can't elsewhere? What does this require of me emotionally, mentally, and or financially? A profit and loss, a debit and credit mindset, if you will. But I do all this to ensure I'm not putting myself in a position of compromising who I am and what I stand for. I assert and reiterate this continuously. I make necessary adjustments accordingly. I am understanding, objective, respectful, and accepting. But if you know, L, I take care of myself before anyone. And that's non negotiable. I've been called a plethora of names because of this. Men of business. What is acceptable is consistency, understanding, diplomacy, transparent communication. So the terms can be renegotiated. So the doors can stay open. Shit changes, things happen. Being able to circle back so I don't cause someone else to become stagnant or complacent is a choice. So I don't disrupt someone else's emotional and mental flow is a choice. So when you enter someone's life, be mindful that you owe them nothing. But if you can't serve and cater to their needs as they do yours, go away. If you're unable to be selfless and objective, whether it be present or 10 steps ahead, go away. If you're unable to be humanely, selfishly selfless, go away. And if not from them, at least from me. All of this is common sense for me, but not for other people. I have to be mindful of that. All of this is common sense for me, but not other people. I have to be mindful of that. This requires a certain level of maturation and understanding to be accepted. This concludes the answer key. If your reading comprehension is as sharp as your wit, that is. Pencils up. Answer key face down. Your exam has commenced. How long will you last? Will you make the cut? Good luck.
Am I selfish or do I know my value? In life, we have these words and these situations and these circumstances that contradict each other and make us look like we ourselves are a contradiction or a hypocrite in what we stand for and what we believe in and just who we are initially as people. And I'm here to tell all my people who always put other people before themselves, are always willing to show up and show out, and you never know how to make time for yourself. You never know how to love yourself because you always showing up being the bigger person, the strongest person. And I just want you to know, even if you finally decide to take time for you and you're doing absolutely nothing at all, I see you and I'm so proud of you because you deserve it, because you're worth it. Um, and when you step into this phase of loving on yourself and putting yourself first and realizing nobody's going to take care of you but you, nobody's going to value you and reward you and praise you as much as you do yourself. Um, People are going to start calling you selfish. People are going to start trying to manipulate you and gaslight you. And those people who are going to try to manipulate you and gaslight you are the ones who can no longer manipulate you, who can no longer use you to their benefit. And those same people can never show up for you when you need them to, and the way you show up for them. And I want you to know that is absolutely okay. Because as a giver, you're gonna feel bad. As an empath, you're gonna feel bad. But I want you to be able to step back and look within self and say, self, it's okay because I deserve it. It's okay because I'm worth it because you are, you know? Um, and ultimately, you have to create an ebb and flow within yourself to kind of get it going. But understanding your value and your worth is ultimately important. And that goes to understand that be cognizant of the amount of goodness you put into the world. My aunt taught me this 5 years ago. I thought she was completely selfish for what she said. But as I get older, I understand what she said. She said to me, I'm not going to feel bad for when I tell people no, because it's okay. Because God knows my heart and God knows what I've done. And I'm not going to speak on what I've done, but I know what I've done. And I got to take care of me. And I don't know why she was telling me that. But I think it was 2 years later, I learned I was stepping into a moment of liberation in my life. I was just transitioning out of a relationship that I didn't even know that I was transitioning out of. But I started a journey of liberation, of self love, of vulnerability, and of authenticity for self. Um, because I wanted to heal from childhood trauma, childhood pain, teenage trauma, so I could be successful in my adult life. And on this journey, it's been hard because you will, it's been hard because I've met people, and so will you, and so have you, that haven't reached your level of self love. And as I said earlier, they're going to call you selfish, and they don't initially understand you. And they're going to expect a level of reciprocity from you that you don't ultimately have to give because always being that cheerleader and that strong person and the bigger person. That one time you decide to be late, that one time you decide not to show up, that one time you decide to sleep in, the one time you decide to call out, you deserve it. You don't owe it to anybody because you don't have to remind them of what you've done. Just be cognizant of what you've done. And the universe and God will continue to show you initially the people who are going to be able to reciprocate, who are going to be able to understand, that this is the journey that you deserve, and it's okay, because you shouldn't want anybody that's draining you. You shouldn't want anybody that can't do for you the way you do for them, or even if they don't have it in their capacity at that moment. Like, do you know what they do for you when it was time for them to help you? If it's time for them to help you, if you need it. And usually the people who are givers and always showing up for people and showing out for people, you know, we always making something shake no matter how successful we are or no matter how low we are. We will always figure it out. And that is the most hurtful thing we could feel. That's the most hurtful thing you could feel. Um, because you won't ask for help the way other people ask you for help. And that's not okay. I want you to get comfortable asking for help. I want you to be able to lean on your support system and your resources to help you, because life is so exhausting and it's going to be so hard to take care of you, because you're suppressing so much. I want to tell you a story about something that recently just happened to me. I want to tell you two stories. Um, it showed up around a year ago this time when the podcast started with a similar topic. And I set boundaries and cut relationships that were no longer serving me, as I always do. But it was different. I started to pay attention to how people made me feel. I started to pay attention to who I was. I was meeting myself where I was at in order to meet other people where they're at. And I'm going to leave that where that is because that's another topic for later. Um, but I tried to bring old trash into a new circumstance. And in that moment, I was losing sight of my value, my worth, what I deserved, because I was being gaslighted into being told I was selfish. But this person would continuously try to gaslight me on where I was at and my growth and who I was and who I am. And I was like, I don't like how I feel when I'm next to you. I don't like who I am when I'm with you. I don't like how I feel. I don't like this. Like, I deserve more. I deserve more. But I love this person. So it was hard. Um, and then I ended up taking a job opportunity that took me all the way to Austin, Texas for about 7 months. And just being there and dating, and I got to experience so much stuff. And one of those things was am I selfish or do I know my value? And the separation I was able to get from my friends and family, being in Austin, Texas for that amount of time, helped me set a level of boundaries and self-care and self-worth on 100 kilowatts, like 100,000 kilowatts, more so than I already was. Like, I don't know, people really be trying to make me feel bad for my level of self-care and love, but that's neither here nor there. Um, and I was able to learn and see that, in a world full of 7 billion people, as I kept saying, we speak life, so be careful what you say. Um, you're going to find your people within 7 billion people that are going to align with your core values and your beliefs, and just understand initially what it is. And I recently moved back to the DMV area. Those of you who aren't familiar with the DMV area, is DC, Maryland, and Virginia. It's not the entirety of Maryland. Sorry, I don't understand the B for the correlation of why it's separated, but I kind of do because I don't like driving. But it's Southern Maryland, Prince George's County, and Montgomery County is the part of Maryland that is connected to the DMV or counts. Um, and then Northern Virginia from Alexandria Falls Church in Arlington, I believe it is. I'm in Arlington, just moved. Um, and I moved back 4 months ago. And it's been a hell of a ride. Like on my way back, there was a relationship that kept trying to peek through, right? Can't bring old trash into a new chapter. You can't bring old trash into a new place. Can't bring trash into a new place. Sorry, I keep saying old trash. I don't know why I said that. But this person just kept bugging about like coming in my life, and I was just like, you know what? Like I talked myself into it because I'm like, a lot of what happened was a me thing, not a you thing. And then they said something to me, and I'm like, this person has no accountability. Like they're literally trying to put it all on me. Like a lot of people can't step back and say to themselves, what did I do to create that reaction in you? Or what role did I play to cause all of this to happen? Um, and I didn't let no trash in my life besides this person. Um, Besides this piece of trash. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm using this analogy. My life coach taught me this, but I let this person come back in my life, and I allowed this person's attachment to me, or the picture they painted in their head for me, for us to keep allowing them back in my life. And I didn't like who I was. I didn't like that. I didn't like who I was. There was so much life given into the situation, and then there was so much pull. It was like a push and a pull, but it wasn't a good one. And then I was separated from somebody else a year prior, and we were coming into a reconciliation stage at the same time. And it was just an amazing feeling. So I said, I don't like this, even though there may not be a future friendship or connection with either party. I like it over here. I like how I feel over here. And I'm going to talk about this later on in something else, but I like how I feel over here. And this is self care. This isn't self care. I don't like this. I don't like it. I'm worth more than this. I deserve more because I've experienced better. When you know better, you do better. Um, so I blocked this person. I blocked this person for my own sanity, for my own peace of mind. And then they reached out and they said, I needed you. And I got mad. But I was like, you know what? Evolved me was like, I'm sorry you needed me, but you trigger me in these kind of ways, and you don't. But I needed to take time to soothe me because I'm processing a lot. Um, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you're gonna work through it. Then I got defensive, and I was like, I'm the sugar honey iced tea. Like, I got this. The heck. And then I got mad. I took back my apology, and I was like, no, like, you're not gonna tell me you needed me when every time I needed you, you couldn't show up for me. You understand? And I feel like I was being gaslighted and manipulated, and I was. That's exactly what that was. And this is what I was talking about earlier. And I was like, why is this person giving me? Why am I giving this person so much life at the end of it? And then I was done. Like I was just like, I was done. Like I was done. People will disrespect you, no matter who they are, mother, father, whatever. I'm not on a whole blood thicker than water band. Like Strangers treat me better than my own family do. Strangers treat me better than my old friends do. My own friends do. New friends treat me better than my sandbox friends do. Um, and I say this to say, what do you gain from being the bigger person? What do you gain from always showing up and showing out for other people, but you're not showing up like that for yourself? What does that say about how you respect yourself? What does that say about how you value yourself? What does that say about how you look at yourself and what you deserve? Like, what does that say? Um, and nobody's perfect and nobody's human. And this is going to be something that's going to be a continuous growth thing. But I want you to think about that as I share this other story with you. Then me and my roommate got into it a little bit later on, and I decided to move into my own place. We had a promise where we were going to live together until we are 30. While we build ourselves up continuously financially, settle ourselves into our 30 and up goals. And I was talking myself out of not moving out early, but it wasn't in my heart to stay there anymore. And my life coach was like, you are causing yourself to make you feel bad. You are doing that to yourself. And they're like, even if you have made this promise and you have this deal, like you're not giving yourself what your soul needs. You're not taking care of you. You're not serving your initial needs. That's going to make you thrive and settle back into the happiness and peace you experienced while you were in Austin, Texas. The boundaries you were able to set, the lifestyle you were able to create. And when me and my roommate got into it, I was already in my mind moving. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm dipping. And that was 8 weeks ago at this point. And I kept searching and looking for all these places. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna move to Foxhall. So Foxhall is right side of the Georgetown, very beautiful, gorgeous area. It's like, I'm gonna get a place here. Everything's gonna be amazing. This is where I'm meant to be. It's right by the trails and the trees and everything beautiful. And it's so close to my daughter and this and that. Like I was speaking life into everything, and the universe was like, no, that's not for you. And then I stumbled on this place in Arlington, and me and my cats were happy and we're thriving. It's only been a week, but God, it feels so good. Like I'm happy. I'm happy. And third night, I had to stay in this apartment because the third night I stayed in this apartment, I was on a trial and tribulations of an emotional roller coaster I didn't want to be on. I said, I don't deserve this. Like, I really don't deserve this. Like, I'm worth so much more than this. Even though I've done my fair share of whatever in life, like, I'm working so hard to do better and to make up for it and to change it and just whatever, just do better with the skills and knowledge I have for the future and for the present. And I'm in this thing called IFS therapy as well, which is internal family systems. If, look on my Instagram handle, love it or dot leave it. I have rants and then my previous podcast, but I talk about being in IFS therapy, and IFS therapy is parts therapy. It's parts of yourself. You have schizophrenia and personality disorder, but then you have parts therapy where there's parts of ourselves we create when we experience certain traumas throughout our life to handle certain situations because our initial self doesn't know how to manage that. So we go into survival mode, and psychologically a part of our brain makes up a piece of us to manage whatever's going on. You have the firefighter, you have the manager, you have, it's like 3 or 4 different parts. just research it. It's great information. And I wasn't in self, and my other parts were depending on what we've been working on for the last year and a half, just with mindfulness therapy and IFS mainly. And they're like, yo, like you gotta take care of us, like you gotta take care of us. And something happened. I was stressful. Somebody wanted to do goodness for me, and I rescheduled it for a Monday because I was my late night and it was right up the road. So it was like, okay, you moved, hard time. Let me, give you some food. Somebody just gave me food, and I was like, it's too much. I'll split it with you because time is hard for you right now because you just moved. And I'm like, I done died almost like 4 times. I've been homeless. I've been hungry. No, we're not the same. Like, I'm good. Or I could have gave to somebody else, my roommate. So I was like, it's cool, it's fine. I'm gonna come after work on Monday because you're right up the road. Told her, she didn't answer. I'm like, oh, you're elderly, you're getting ready for bed, blah blah blah. So I sent a text and said, I answered like, hey, I'm this far. Um, I ended up pulling up, no answer, no response. I was like, bro, like you wasted my time. Yo, don't waste my time. I don't care who you are, because I've been through everything I just mentioned like 2 minutes ago. You're not finna waste my time if I don't waste my own time. You feel me? Like that is, yo, like I have deal breakers. That is the ultimate deal breaker. Like you're not gonna waste my time. No, you're not. Like I will be upset. I will fight you, or I'll never talk to you again. You are not allowed to waste my time. Period. Because we can't get it back. Time is valuable. I'm valuable. I could have been doing something else. Like so, and I didn't react. I didn't do anything. Like I just left. And I ended up breaking down on the side of the road, and I was so upset. I'm like, Lord, you keep showing me that I either cut people off, or you're showing me I got some more cutting off to do. And that's exactly what happened. I had some more cutting off to do to take care of self and to understand my value and to recognize who's going to show up for me and who's not. And that's exactly what happened. Um, I ended up reaching out to somebody that was like closer than anybody else, because the resources I had, they either didn't have a car, they would have showed up for me if I asked them to, but I was like, I'm not about to do that. I wasn't in the space for that. And then that person, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I do everything for you. And this is the reciprocity and expectation. Like you can't project that on the people, even though like you can't. And you can't, because people do what they're able to do, what they're willing to do, what they want to do. You just can't, because you can do that shit to me. But I did it to this person because I'm like, you're right around the corner. They're like, oh no, I'm on the outside, I'm like, what does that mean? Right? I went through, what does that mean? So I was like, you know what? My system was like, we don't have time for this, because you done told that one person you only got one spaz in you this year. And because you're a person of your word and accountability and honest greatness that other people don't have for the most part, you gotta own that. So we're not gonna get mad because the firefighter, that's like, I'm not cussing nobody out. I don't got time nor energy, no patience or qualms to even give a damn right now. I don't have to give a damn to have no qualms right now. So I was like, all right, sis. Little inner child part of me was like, I don't know. Like I stepped back. I'm healing. I'm almost healed. Like, I don't got nope. Manager L, me, was like, I don't got energy for this either. Like I work 12, 13 hours a day. We going through a lot. I don't got time. So initially we had to call roadside assistance with Progressive. So we were able to get home, was able to get home and got home. And we was like, how are we gonna fix this? And we had the same conversation. Self had the same conversation with self. I don't got no time, no energy, no patience for this. This is not what we're doing in 2022. This is not what we're doing. We're going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to continue to thrive and be present and enjoy the initial peace and stability and happiness that we've been experiencing. So the next step of self-care we came up with was we're changing our number after 8 years. I don't care the initial benefit of whoever is around you. We're changing our number. Oh, T-Mobile, how can I help you today? Oh, I need to change my number. What's triggering the number, change. We saw you had this number for such and such amount of time. This is not a true story I gave them, but I was like, oh, I was in a situationship and he harassing me because I don't know why when I told him I wasn't shit and I ain't have nothing to give besides what I was giving and what I was able to give. And the dude was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Da, 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 da. You usually think people understand, like, people hear what they want to hear and believe what they want to believe. It's okay. Can you help me? So I was able to get the number change. And literally nobody has my number because those people that initially have no more access to me, they were reaching out to me. I wasn't reaching out to them. I was like, no, the only people that are able to have access to me is the people who will show up for me how I show up for them. Because that's how I'm gonna take care of myself, you know? And it's been so peaceful, it's been so beautiful. Like I was just thinking to myself today, I don't know anybody else experiences if they change their number, but I was like, my phone's dry and it don't feel too bad. Um, Feels good. Feels really good. Um, I've always knew how to be alone and not feel lonely, but this level of being alone is like it's peaceful, reinventing the wheel, to take care of myself, figuring out a new way to get to know the new me and to take care of myself. And I want you to do the same thing. Like whatever your self look care looks like, it can look like anything. You can change your number, you can move into a new place, you can get a new job, like anything to take care of you. You can get a new pair of shoes, you can get your cuticles trimmed, a manicure. I didn't get my nails done, but ever since I've been in the field, it just doesn't make sense. um do your hair, like I did my hair today. Wake up and just be like, nope, not today. If you don't feel like being on time, you don't feel like attending that event, you don't feel like picking up the phone. Somebody got mad at me because I ain't talked to them for like a week, and I was just like, how you mad at me? Like I'm taking care of myself. Like I know my worth and I know my value, and to give you something is draining me, and I don't have space or room or capacity for that right now. And I didn't owe you the common courtesy to explain that to you, but I did because when you did it for you, I understood you, even though you didn't extend that courtesy to me, right? Because people will do that to you. Um, so ultimately, the message is understand your value and your worth because you're not being selfish. Um, because you're doing what's best for you. And people who don't know how to put themselves first are people who don't benefit from you no longer when you start putting yourself first will manipulate you into thinking that you're being selfish. Um, and I'm a firm believer on me time and self care. And it's one big thing that I will always talk about and I'll continuously talk about. So I wish you the best. I hope you enjoyed the poem. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Am I selfish or do I know my worth? It's really great to be here. It's really great to be back. Catch us next week. If you want to join the upcoming pre-recording, Can Independent Woman Be Subservient? Segment being recorded on January 30th. I believe that's when that's being recorded. If you want to get on that, DM me on Instagram at _loveIt or.leave it. I really appreciate you tuning in and being a part of the Love It or Leave It creative channel growth, progress, and whatever this is going to be. I just enjoy talking to myself and talking to you because I really needed this. And I hope this resonated with you as well, somebody. But that's all I got. We'll be back. Peace.